Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers. Today, we're doing a deep dive into nCino's Q3 2025 earnings call. We've got the transcript fresh off the press, and we've also got some key stock and company info, and we're ready to break it all down for you.
Yeah, what's really interesting here is that nCino is just killing it. Even with the economy being a bit shaky, they've blown past revenue and operating income projections again. This kind of consistent overperformance, it suggests that something bigger is happening here.
Yeah, that's right. What really jumped out at me was the sales momentum. More deals, bigger deals, and get this, over 30 clients signed on for multiple nCino products. It's like they're building this whole ecosystem that banks are buying into.
Exactly. It's not about selling individual tools anymore. nCino is creating this integrated platform that helps banks streamline everything, from lending and account opening to managing their portfolios. It's almost like they're building the operating system for the future of banking.
Okay, so how is this playing out in the real world? Well, they just landed a $10 billion credit union as a client. That's a big deal. It shows that nCino isn't just for the giant banks. They're attracting a wide range of financial institutions. And then there's that top 40 U.S. bank we talked about. They signed a 5-year deal for multiple nCino solutions. That's not just a contract. It's a sign of serious trust in nCino's vision.
That's a great point. And I think what we're seeing here is a fundamental shift in how financial institutions are approaching technology. They're no longer satisfied with piecemeal solutions. They want integrated platforms that provide efficiency, automation, and data-driven insights. nCino's success is a clear indicator of this trend.
Now let's talk about something that I found really fascinating. Banking Advisor. It's their AI-powered tool. Think of it like a digital assistant for bankers. It's still early days, but they added 11 new Banking Advisor customers just this quarter. This could mean that we're seeing a big push towards automation in banking.
What I find particularly intriguing about Banking Advisor is the speed at which it's being adopted. This rapid uptake suggests that banks aren't just thinking about AI as some futuristic concept. They're actually seeing it as a practical tool that can solve real problems for them today.
Absolutely. And they're not just throwing AI at every problem. They're strategically focusing on areas where it can make a real difference. For example, during the call, they highlighted a new feature that helps with generating deal proposals. This feature alone is saving banks around 1,500 hours of staff work every year.
The fact that they're simplifying these complex processes and reducing manual tasks is a huge deal. It really highlights that nCino isn't just about flashy tech, it's about delivering tangible value to its clients. But it's not all smooth sailing for nCino. They did see some increased churn in their mortgage products. Even with lower interest rates, the mortgage market is still pretty volatile, and M&A activity has impacted them.
Yeah, that's a good reminder that even a company like nCino isn't immune to market forces. But what did catch my eye was their new intelligent solution framework. Basically, they're changing how they price their products, linking their success to the success of their clients. It's a bold move. And so far, the feedback seems positive.
What I find interesting about this new pricing model is that it shows a shift in mindset. nCino is moving away from transactional relationships and towards partnerships. It's like they're saying, we're in this together.
But what does nCino's CEO, Pierre Node, have to say about the future? He sees a bright future for banking tech.
Oh yeah, he's super optimistic about the future of banking tech. He talked about deregulation, M&A activity, and the growing demand for innovative solutions like AI as major drivers. It seems like he believes that the financial industry is on the verge of a major transformation, and nCino is leading the charge.
His optimism is definitely contagious. And to be honest, looking at nCino's performance and the trends in the industry, it's hard not to share his enthusiasm. This earnings call wasn't just about numbers. It was a glimpse into the future of banking. So we've talked about nCino's performance in the U.S., but one thing that really stood out to me was their international growth. They're not just a domestic player anymore. They're making moves globally.
Absolutely. Their expansion into international markets is really impressive. They've landed their largest customer yet in Japan, a major expansion deal with the biggest bank in Norway, and their first customer in Luxembourg. It's clear that their platform has global appeal.
I'm curious, why is international expansion so important for a company like nCino?
Well, for starters, it validates that their solutions aren't limited to just one region. They're addressing needs that are shared by financial institutions around the world.
It's like they've figured out the formula for building banking tech that works anywhere.
Exactly. And secondly, it unlocks a massive market opportunity for growth. They're not just winning deals, they're strategically positioning themselves for long-term success in new markets.
That's a smart move. Now, let's talk about something that's been creating a lot of buzz lately. Embedded finance, for those who aren't familiar. It's basically about seamlessly integrating financial services into everyday experiences.
Imagine buying a car and securing financing all within the car dealership's app, or booking a flight and getting travel insurance with just one click. That's embedded finance in action.
It's all about convenience, right? Making it super easy for people to access financial services whenever and wherever they need them.
Exactly. And nCino sees a huge opportunity in this space. They're already partnering with other companies to figure out how their platform can be used to power embedded finance solutions.
So we could potentially see nCino's technology behind the scenes, all sorts of everyday transactions. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is. And it shows their forward-thinking approach. They're not just focused on traditional banks. They're anticipating how people will interact with financial services in the future. But let's not forget about the competition. nCino isn't the only player in the fintech game.
That's right. So what sets nCino apart in such a competitive landscape? What's their secret sauce?
I think it's a few things. Firstly, their platform approach is a big advantage. They offer a whole suite of integrated solutions that can handle a wide range of banking needs. Instead of piecing together different tools from different vendors, banks can get everything they need from one place.
So nCino is like a one-stop shop for banking tech.
Exactly. And this simplifies things for banks and helps them operate more efficiently. Secondly, they're committed to innovation. They're constantly investing in new technologies like AI and machine learning to make their platform even better and offer cutting-edge solutions.
Banking Advisor is a perfect example of that. They're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in banking tech.
And lastly, I think their deep understanding of the banking industry gives them a real edge. Their leadership team has a ton of experience in financial services, which allows them to really understand the needs of banks and build solutions that actually work.
It's like they speak the language of bankers. That kind of expertise is really valuable. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about nCino's stock. It's currently trading around $42.50 per share, which is up about 2.4% today.
Not bad at all. But what about the long-term outlook? Is nCino a good investment?
Okay, before you answer, just a reminder to our listeners, this is not financial advice. We're just having a conversation here.
Of course, of course. But looking at their track record of growth, their innovative solutions, and their expanding market opportunity, I think it's fair to say they have a lot of potential.
But like with any investment, there are risks. We talked about those mortgage market headwinds earlier.
Yeah.
And the competitive landscape is always changing.
Absolutely. It's important to do your own research and consider all the factors before making any investment decisions. Now, we've talked a lot about nCino's numbers and their tech, but there's another important piece to consider: their company culture and leadership.
That's a good point. What's the vibe like at nCino? Are they a bunch of corporate stiffs, or is it more of a Silicon Valley startup kind of environment?
From what I've gathered, it's a unique blend of professionalism and entrepreneurial spirit. They definitely take their work seriously, but they also foster a culture of collaboration, creativity, and fun.
So it's a place where you can be both brilliant and have a good time.
Exactly. And that's reflected in their leadership team. CEO Pierre Naud is known for being a visionary leader. He really understands the banking industry and has a knack for inspiring his team.
You can really sense his passion, and that enthusiasm seems to trickle down throughout the whole company.
That's right. And it's not just about the CEO. nCino has built a really talented and experienced leadership team that has a proven track record in fintech. They have the brains, the vision, and the drive to really make things happen. But why should our listeners care about nCino's success? What makes this more than just another tech company doing well?
That's a great question. Why should we care?
Because nCino's story is ultimately about the future of banking, and that affects all of us. Their innovations are shaping how we interact with financial institutions. They're making banking more efficient, more convenient, and more accessible.
It's like they're building a bridge
Yeah.
between traditional banking and the digital world.
Exactly. And as they continue to grow and innovate, their impact on the financial industry will only become more significant.
So whether you're a banker, an investor, or just someone who uses banking services, nCino's story is worth paying attention to. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's time for another thought-provoking question.
All right, hit me with it. What's the next big question we should be asking about nCino and the future of banking tech?
Well, if nCino's platform is becoming the operating system for modern banking, what does that mean for data security and privacy? As financial institutions rely more and more on technology, how do we make sure our sensitive financial information is protected?
That's a crucial question. As we move toward a more connected and automated financial world, data security becomes absolutely essential.
And it's a challenge that nCino, along with the entire financial industry, needs to address head-on. This is definitely something we'll be watching closely as nCino's story continues to unfold. Welcome back to Talk Tickers. It's time to wrap up our deep dive into nCino's Q3 2025 earnings call. We've gone through their financials, explored their global expansion, dug into their innovative tech, and even peeked into their company culture. Now let's pull it all together.
Exactly. We've thrown a lot of information your way, but let's distill it down to the key takeaways.
All right, let's break it down. What are the big things our listeners should remember from this deep dive?
Well, the first takeaway is that nCino is a company that's on the move. Their consistent growth, expanding market share, and that impressive suite of products all point to a strong position in the fintech space. They're not just riding the wave of digital transformation, they're actively shaping it.
It's like they're not just building a better mousetrap, they're building the whole house.
That's a great analogy. And their recent acquisitions, like DocFox and Full Circle, show that they're strategically positioning themselves for even more growth, expanding their capabilities, and solidifying their place as a platform provider.
They're playing chess, not checkers. And speaking of strategic moves, that new intelligent solution framework, where they're linking their pricing to the success of their clients, is a real game changer.
It really is. It shows a lot of confidence in their platform and a real commitment to building true partnerships. It's a win-win situation.
Totally. It's not just about short-term gains. They're in it for the long haul. But let's zoom out for a second. What does nCino's success tell us about the bigger trends shaping the financial industry as a whole?
I think it's a clear signal that banks are finally embracing technology in a big way. They're moving away from those clunky old systems and siloed solutions and demanding integrated platforms that bring efficiency, automation, and data-driven insights to the table.
And nCino's perfectly positioned to deliver exactly that. They're not just selling software. They're offering a whole new vision for what banking can be.
Precisely. And their focus on AI and machine learning is a sign of things to come. We're moving towards a future where banking is all about intelligent automation and data-driven decision-making.
So it's not just about doing things faster or cheaper. It's about fundamentally changing how banks work and how they serve their customers. It's about making banking smarter.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But we've talked a lot about tech and trends. Let's bring it back to the human element for a minute. What can we learn from nCino's leadership and culture?
Yeah, what is it about this company that seems to breed success and innovation? What's their secret sauce?
Well, it seems like they've managed to create a very unique culture that blends professionalism with an entrepreneurial spirit. They emphasize collaboration, creativity, and giving employees a sense of ownership.
So it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart and having a good time while doing it.
Exactly. And their leadership team with Pierre Node at the helm embodies this philosophy, their passion for the industry, and their vision for the future are clear in everything they do.
They're not just leading the company, they're leading a movement.
Yeah.
But with all this talk about innovation and progress, we need to address the potential risks as nCino's platform becomes more and more integrated into the core operations of banks. What challenges do we need to be aware of?
That's a critical question. The more we rely on technology, the more vulnerable we become to its potential downsides.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about things like data security, system vulnerabilities, and even the ethical implications of AI and automation. These are complex issues that demand careful consideration and proactive solutions.
Absolutely. As nCino continues to push the boundaries of banking technology, these questions are only going to become more important.
All right, so for all of our listeners out there, here's your challenge. Stay informed, stay engaged, and be part of the conversation that's shaping the future of finance. Now, before we sign off, no Talk Tickers episode would be complete without our This Is Not Financial Advice segment. Are you ready for this?
Hit me with it. Let's hear that outrageous but plausible trade idea.
Okay, how about this? Short, traditional banking software providers go long nCino with their platform approach, innovative solutions, and laser focus on AI. nCino is poised to disrupt the old guard.
Remember, folks, this is purely hypothetical and for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is definitely not investment advice.
Exactly. Don't make any rash decisions based on our ramblings.
Yeah.
But it's fun to think about the possibilities, right?
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into nCino's Q3 2025 earnings call. We hope you found this episode insightful thought-provoking, and maybe even a little bit entertaining. As always, thanks for tuning in to Talk Tickers. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.